Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Emanuelle Silva, and I'm here to present the paper The Hypercortex and the Context of the Convergence of R with Info-cognotechnologies. This work is created by Professor Dr. Pablo Gobira with myself and Priscila de Portugal. The discussion presented here brings a reflection originating from the group Laboratório de Poéticas Fronteiriças, or LabFront, a research, development and innovation group registered at Brazilian Council for Scientific and Technological Development Directory and certified by the State University of Minas Gerais. In LabFront, we aim to bring forward discussions in and at the frontiers of the intersection of the fields of art, science, and technology. Here we show a snippet of one of the topics we choose to focus on based on some of our bibliographical research that aims to bring together a specific aspect of digital arts known as telematic art. Various researchers, including Roy Ascot and Pierre Levi, work in the telematic field, and thus would be too long for us to present here all the developments that come from it, but we'll try to give a brief explanation of it. Besides being expressed through telematic systems, we understand telematic artworks in regard to their connection to info-technologies and cognotechnologies in the context of the scientific and technological convergence we are currently navigating through. In Ascot, we can see the reach possible through the use of telematic technologies, enabling since at least the 1970s of expansion of artistic systems going beyond before known geographical social limits. When we talk about info-technologies as a part of telematic art, we deal directly with the moment in human history in which we have entered since half of the 20th century, where we have a more easily ready technological access, enabling for the development of various networks inside and outside companies, universities, and governments. We live in an era based on information, where multiple technologies grant us access to a large amount of data and knowledge through creations such as databases that allows for an even further development in research on various areas and their convergence, making it easily accessible for different areas to connect and share possible complementary information. Infotechnology is a development from the usual way in which we access information. It allows for a more direct access to a multitude of means thanks to the implementation of digitally attained and sustained databases, research methods, and communication. Cognotechnologies, on the other hand, are the developments that allow for a cognitive connection. They artificially recreate how the human brain works through neuroscientific discoveries and relating with the way our mind works, presenting itself as a disruptive technology, enabling the extrapolation of traditional info-technological interactions between humans and machines. With a strong development being made, especially since the creation of the World Wide Web, connecting the entire world through the internet, the cognotechnologies grew in reach by being possible to propose a sort of technological and artificial neural network, building a hyperconnection amongst people that are mediated by the machine. The hyperconnection is a very important point in the topic we're presenting here, seeing it is directly connected and brings us to the discussion of the idea of the hypercortex. The hypercortex, proposed forth by Roy Ascol as an augmentation of our brains beyond its physical limits, it's anchored in the relationship between the idea of a shared global intelligence and the extrapolation of the human brain pan. Having that in mind, the use of info-technological developments creates transformative and mediative cognitive processes in the hypercortex, changing the modus operandi of all social relationships. This way, by understanding the biological function of the human cortex, used to process and respond to the environment around us, and with it being directly connected to the hypercortex, we're able to better understand the possibilities of expanding its ability with the help of technological methods. Furthermore, it enables that such human consciousness expansion transcends beyond its physical dimension, allowing for a linkage on the human-machine and machine-machine processes. This idea is vastly supported by the reflections made by Ascol as well as Levi, deals directly with the possibilities of expansion of the human neocortex. In our work, we focus on the use of those technologies and developments, especially in the artistic fields, by analyzing digital artworks in which the info-cognotechnological dimension is poetically explored in search of a scientific, technological, and artistic convergence. Our goal is to demonstrate how different artworks end up conceptually, or in a theoretical, practical way, implementing what humanity experiences physically, showcasing possibilities beyond the ones we can nowadays imagine, much like it did in the 1970s when artists started their research in the telematic field using of various connective devices in the work. Well, we thank all of you who listened to this presentation and invite you to follow us on our Facebook, our Twitter, and our Instagram, and to reach us through our email. Thank you very much.